everybody, Teresa here from Inspiration Cards. I hope you guys had a good long weekend last weekend, and I'm back this week. Scrapfest is done. It was a lot of fun. It's fairly busy, so I'm glad I went, but I'm also glad that it's done, and I'm glad to be back here doing some live crafting with you guys. And this week, as promised, I'm going to share a little something from the upcoming new annual catalog, which comes in just over 1 week. So as of tomorrow, there'll be 1 week left in the current annual catalog. So I know I'm counting down the days. I don't know if you guys are too, but I'm excited to share this new set with you. So let's flip this around and I'll show you what I've got going tonight. All right, so let's bring in the stamp set here. Ooh, let me lower that light a bit. There we go. So here is the stamp set that I'm going to showcase today. So this is the He's All That Cling. So it's a cling stamp set. And this is from the upcoming new annual catalog that launches next Tuesday, May the 3rd. And it actually comes with, it's actually part of a whole suite. I was very tempted. I'll probably add other pieces of the suite to my collection as we go. But I did for now get the stamp set and the coordinating dies that go with it. So I'll actually show you, because I haven't actually done much. Oh no, yes I did. Okay, I couldn't remember if I'd actually pulled this all apart yet. So here are the cling, the cling stamps. Somehow they ended up getting stuck to the other side of, there we go, my case. So lots of great images and phrases. I love this set because it actually is a nice variety. I've always been looking for a really nice masculine set. And while I really loved some of the other ones that have been a little more specific, I really wanted something, you know, that offered a bit more of a range. Oh, goodness. Than just focusing in on, you know, sailboats or poker or things like that. All right, and this I feel like really offers that up nicely. All right, so there are all the stamps, so I got those back into place. All right, and the dies, as I said, so these are the coordinating dies. So I'll show you those as well. I'm so excited. I'm not going to use the dies tonight, just in the interest of time, but there are the dies that go with the stamp set. So as you can see, it lines up, right? We've got the compass image, right? We've got lots of, we've got the banners, right? We've got this piece, these two pieces, which will go with those two. I think so. And these, I'm really curious. I'm really excited to actually play with these ones here and see how that turns out. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. So there's the dies. Let me tuck these away. There's also designer series paper and lots of other things that are part of the He's All That suite. All right, but just for now, had to hold myself back and just got the stamps and the dies. All right, so what we're going to be doing tonight, let me show you guys here. All right, just a simple card. Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm still catching up from Scrapfest. All right, so what I'm using, let me just tuck that up to the side here, is a little bit of crumb cake, a little bit of basic black, and instead of basic white, I wanted something not quite as stark. So I'm actually using very vanilla with this card for tonight. All right, so let's get this started by folding our card base in half. There we go. Get that nice crisp clean fold. And let's tuck that out of the way. All right, and with the largest piece of my very vanilla, there we go. I'm going to add a little something on all four corners. So there's actually this guy here. Right, so those of us who keep scrapbooks and things like that, probably, I remember the old like my mom and my grandmother used to have, right? You'd have these photo albums and you'd get these special photo corners, right? And you'd have these photo corners in and then you'd tuck your photos in. That actually kind of reminds me of that. All right, so I'm gonna add one in each of the 4 corners and pulling from the black on the outside. I want a little bit of that on the inside. So I'm just gonna go in each of the 4 corners. Do my best to line them up in the corners. Go. There we go. All right, so we got a nice little something on the inside of our card. All right, now I'm not doing any stamping on the basic black, so I'm going to tuck that off to the side as well. So here is the large piece of the medium-sized piece of Very Vanilla, and I want to do kind of like collage stamping, and create almost like a background designer series paper, pattern paper kind of feel to it. But I'm actually going to start with my image in the center, and that's going to be this one here. And this one is the Every Day With You is Another Adventure. So I'm going to add this one on here. And this I'm going to do in Memento ink. Oh, there's a little bit of Leo in my ink pad. Let's move that. There we go. So you just want to tap that on the ink pad until it's fully covered, right? First time you use a stamp set, it might take a little bit longer. A few more stamps to get that inked up. All right, so there we go. Let me just make sure. Okay. And that's going to be our central image. I'm going to set this aside just for a quick second because I'm actually going to stamp 2 of these. Now, as I said, I'm not using the dies tonight just in the interest of time. So I'm going to attempt some fussy cutting and pop this one up once I've got all my pieces in place. So I'm going to stamp this a second time. It's down here in the corner. There we go. All right, so I'm going to set that off to the side to dry. All right. So that's my central image. And what we're going to add in, definitely want to add in a few of, actually, I'm going to stick with the corner piece here. And that's going to go in crumb cake. And with collage stamping, you're just going to kind of stamp randomly, right? Just rotate the image around. And I like to do it in odd numbers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 5 right there. There we go. And I love that button image. Super cute. So I'm going to add a few of those. So I'm mostly using basic black and crumb cake, but I am going to add in a third color, smoky slate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we can add a few more buttons in here. And there we go. All right. And all right, let's add in a few of the Love This Guy. Again, just kind of a bit of a collage. So we're not too fussy about, here we go. Let's use basic black. This is what I'm only going to do a couple of. All right, and we're going to do down there. There we go. And in the interest of not getting more ink on my cardstock where I don't want it, here we go. I should have one of these on hand all the time when I stamp. All right, just a quick little wipe. There we go. All right, and to finish off filling in a few more of these holes, let's take that button off and add in the number 1. And this is going to go in again with that crumb cake. The smoky slate is just kind of in there for just a little something different. Right, so fill in these holes. Just kind of changing around the position. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. You can fill in more if you like. I'm going to leave that as it is for now. So we're going to add in a couple other elements. So let me just close these up here, or I end up with my finger or my whole hand in them. All right, I'm going to set that off to dry, and I'm going to grab my other one here. And just grab my paper snips. Oh. All right. So let's see how nice and smooth the circle I can get here. Obviously with the die cut, that coordinates with this image, right? It'll be a little more consistent. But, right, these images are so simple that doing a fussy cut is not, right? It's not that big an undertaking. I have definitely fussy cut harder things than a circle. Although some might say a circle is harder than some other images, just in terms of keeping it even all the way around. There we go. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. All right, so let's tuck that off to the side. Bring our other pieces back in. All right, so I'm going to tuck these off to the side so we can add in our inside piece of Very Vanilla. Here we go. All right, I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Seal, and it goes. All right, we got a nice little border, nice little frame on the inside, right? Brings in the, right, we got the crumb cake from around the edge and a little bit of the basic black around the corners. And then lots of room for a note or whatever you want on the inside. All right, now I'm not going to add these other pieces on yet. So actually what I want to do is I'm going to add a little bit of crumb cake twine to that. So first, what I want to do is add this to my basic black card mat. All right, that's going to go right on there. Okay, and before I add this to the crumb cake card base, I'm going to add, right, my crumb cake thread. So what I'm going to do in order to do that is I'm going to actually add, there we go, a little bit of Stampin' Seal right there in the center. So that's going to hold my thread in place while I wrap that around. Right, try and kind of have that somewhat even, but I do want a little bit of space. So you can play around with it a little bit. There we go. And then just, again, just going to stick that down in the center there. And with my snips, there we go. So we got a nice little extra something in here. There we go. And so now I'm going to take this and add this to my crumb cake card base. So I'm just going to add a little bit on either side of my twine here. So a little bit of Stampin' Seal goes a long way. So you don't need a lot. I know with some tape runners, I feel the need to go edge to edge, corner to corner. But the Stampin' Seal, right, is such a good, has such a good strong seal on it, such a strong adhesive on it. I just need to put in the corners and a little bit in the center, and that will hold it in place very nicely. All right, so there we go. We've got that there. And of course we need my dimensionals now. There we go. I knew I was forgetting something. All right, and here's our compass image. All right, and I'm going to do my best to actually, here we go. So I'm going to add a couple up top because you want to work around the twine. And I'm going to add just one more on the bottom. There we go. So the twine should sit fairly nicely in the middle of those dimensionals. So I'm just going to pull that off the back. There we go, and that's going to go right on top of that image right there. And to top it all off, I'm going to grab some of the brushed metallic adhesive back dots. So glad that these are sticking around. All right, and I'm just going to grab the, oops, let me flip that around. I tend to like to use the spatula end of my Take Your Pick tool to scoop these puppies up. All right, and I'm going to go with the, I don't know if that's more, right? Gold, copper, I don't know, you tell me. All right, and I'm just going to add a few of these in here. All right, so it just kind of gives a little extra something in here. I'll do one more, right? Kind of filling in some of those gaps. There we go. So there we go. There is our first card. And again, this is using the He's All That stamp set from the upcoming new annual catalog. So next Tuesday, May the 3rd, that is the day when the new catalog launches. If you're one of my customers, then your catalog is, I'm just putting the final touches on all those little goodies that are going to be in there with you. So those will be out to you and hopefully in your hands before the weekend comes. And if you are in Canada and would like to get your hands on a copy of the new annual catalog, I would be happy to send one to you. Just drop a comment below, or you can send me an email at inspirationwiththeresa@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to send one out to you. All right, next week I will be back to share a few alternatives with this month's Paper Pumpkin kit, the Change is Beautiful kit. Finally got my hands on that and put together the original designs just this weekend. So if you missed that, I actually posted them here last night. So you can go back a little bit and scroll down to see those. I will be back with some alternatives next week. And hope you guys have a good rest of the week. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.